Well, this ad, with its provocative punchline and latex suits, had everyone talking.
Range including quality. We're into rubber. Into rubber. Get into Ultra-Tune.
And the Ultra-Tune TV commercials didn't stop there.
Now the girls are back. This time they're calling on a Hollywood superstar.
Big trouble, guys.
Yeah!
Our masters of spin ad gurus, Dee Madigan and Dan Gregory, join us. First, I think someone should have given Jean-Claude Van Damme a tan before he filmed this ad. But secondly, what do you think, Dee, of this new ad?
Oh, it feels like a waste of Jean-Claude Van Damme. You want him to do a stunt. That's what he is.
Yeah.
And you think with cars and him, there should have been some really cool
Kick
stunt
somebody,
thing.
for
Totally.
God's sake.
Yeah.
What do you think, Dan? Limited time for filming, perhaps?
I actually find their faces quite disturbing. They all look like they've had a lot of work, including Jean-Claude Van Damme. And my big concern about the outtake is Ultra-Tune uses non-genuine parts.
So they should have had a fake Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Well,
I think he's talking about the ladies involved.
Yeah, I think that's the underlying message.
The other
there.
problem is, though, if you use someone as famous as him, is people go, did you see the Jean-Claude Van Damme ad? And not necessarily that it's Ultra-Tune.
And I think, I don't know, when you're choosing a celebrity spokesperson for a brand, do you have to still choose someone who's really in the public eye, Dee? I mean, we haven't seen Jean-Claude Van Damme in a movie for a while.
Well, this is what feels... Ultra-Tune feels a little bit old-fashioned like that. They're like, oh, our target men, oh, sexy women, oh, Jean-Claude Van Damme. It does feel like they're a bit 20 years ago.
Yeah, but Jean-Claude, I mean, come on, there was a truck ad. I think we've got that, haven't we?
the Volvo ad.
I
Yeah, but that was
love
an
that.
amazing
Well, let's have a look at it
There
now.
we go.
This was extraordinary.
Come on. Look at that. Look at that. That looks painful.
see, that's
I
really
get the
relevant.
feeling he's a bit of a hero of yours, Denim.
That's using him for what he's great at. You know, he's famous for being, you know, this martial artist who could do the splits. And I think, you know, it doesn't necessarily need to be someone who's current, but they do need to be relevant to what you're executing.
And also, that's actually the longest brand. I mean, it's got the product in there for the whole ad, so you actually remember it's Volvo trucks.
And it was so impressive, and the mechanics behind it was so impressive that so many people shared it online, which is, of course, what people
totally
want.
the backstory became almost as big as the ad itself.
Well, let's talk about this kind of underlying message of sexism, well, not really underlying, blatant message of sexism in these ads, Dan. Are we past that now? Are they just playing on that, knowing that people will be outraged?
Look, I think a little bit, but I also think they're playing to their target market, as Dee said. You know, if you're looking at using Ultra-Tune, they're not the top tier company in roadside assistance. They're not the top tier in terms of mechanics. So they're playing to that, you know, that kind of, you know, guys in the early 20s to late 30s kind of space, and that's who they're really targeting.
And they are hardwired to notice sex. They are. It's quite
but I tell you what, there have been a lot of blokes out there, certainly in the city, who couldn't change a tyre. Maybe they should flip it around so there's a woman who can do it and then teaching the man how to do it, Dee.
But the other thing as well, though, is a lot of women now like to buy stuff for their cars and things like that. And you see an ad like that and you just go, oh, that's not really for me, that company. So they might be limiting their audience a little bit by
Do
going
these
there.
ads still work?
You'd have to look at their sales. They're still around, and it's a tough market, that sort of thing, the after-car market, particularly with online where you can buy stuff, so they must be doing OK.
And the other thing is, a lot of the car companies are now selling aftermarket service as part of the sale. So mechanics are doing it tough. So I think that, you know, focusing in that roadside assistance space is where they're looking to, you know, claw back a bit of their share.
I went to get a calendar the other day from a mechanic and it was just pictures of cars. I was like, geez, times really have changed.
You've got to go to the fireman calendar for that
I must
one.
be going up there. We'll
Your subscription has lapsed.
Don't even touch the fireman calendar, Dan. I won't hear a word against it. Thank you very much, Dee, and thank you very much, Dan.